Greetings, everyone. So, almost 6 months ago, I said this about listening to music with a cochlear implant. Listen, the reality is, unfortunately, right now I'm in a period where I don't listen to music on most days. Now, that's just where I am right now in my emotional journey. So almost 6 months later, and things have changed a little bit in a way that I didn't expect, so I thought I'd update you. So just some important backstory and context. It's taken me 2 years to get to what I'm going to share with you today, because even before I got my cochlear implant, when I went bilateral with Meniere's disease, this was early May 2023, the day that happened is when I just emotionally just very quickly detached from music altogether, because it was starting to sound so harrowing and terrible and distorted. And so even, a year before I got my implant, I was already like detaching from music and just not listening a lot. So the first tip I'm going to share with you today is that this takes time, what I'm going to share with you today. I'm a musician. And so it took me time and a lot of therapy just to be able to work through the emotions of going deaf, losing my hearing, and trying to get myself to a place where I was willing to listen to it enough to try to start any kind of road back to where I was with music before. And I knew it was never going to be the same. But it took a while for me to get to this place. And so maybe you're at your part of the journey, whether you have Meniere's disease or maybe it's just hearing damage, where you don't want to listen to music right now. And that's okay. I felt a lot of pressure from people that were like, you need to rehab. You've got to keep listening. Don't give up. You've got to fight. You need to, I felt some of that kind of pressure, and I just had to say, back off pretty much to everybody. I need time. I need time. I don't want to do it. I don't want to force it right now. So the next tip that I'll give you is, when you are ready to try to start listening again, listen to music that you know. Now, you probably already know that, especially if you have cochlear implants. They tell you to kind of try to rehab or retrain your brain on music that you know really well. But the thing I'm going to share with you today really only works if it's with music that you know. So pull up that genre, whatever your decade of choice is. Mine is, I'm just a sucker for the 80s. Pull up whatever that music is that you just know it like the back of your hand. Now, the next thing I'm going to share as a tip is, I think it's a theory, but I think I'm learning that my brain is going to focus on what I think is important. I can't prove this at all, but something that I learned with tinnitus is that, you can see my video about that, but something I kept finding on the interwebs was that, tinnitus is mainly in your brain, and the more that you alert to how negative that sound is for you and how much you hate it, the more your brain is like, oh, that's important. We should probably pay attention to that. And so it becomes more prominent, harder to ignore. Again, I don't know where the science is for that, the papers are for that. It's probably out there somewhere. But that little thing that I learned has really translated into other things in my life. And I think it's here with music too. So for 2 years leading up to this, every time I would listen to music, it was the first thing I focused on was, this doesn't sound good. This doesn't sound good. This sounds terrible. I can't hear the bass. The vocals sound fried. I can't hear the guitars anymore. And that's all I would focus on. And so I was starting to kind of develop this hardwired reaction. And so when I picked things up again, several months ago, again, that was my tendency. This sounds terrible. And so I noticed that and I thought, I wonder if my brain is starting to pick up on that and alert to that. And so I realized that was a pattern that I needed to break. And so I couldn't focus on that anymore. So if I can't focus on that anymore, what am I going to focus on? And here's the big thing that I have discovered that works. I learned to focus more on the imagination of the audio and not the actual audio. Let me explain. Because I'm listening to music that I know really well, what I'm finding is happening is that the actual audio, if I'm just, queuing up a song and playing it, the actual audio is really just a guide for me. It's a guide for my brain. My brain, what it's doing is it's actually filling in the instruments that I know were supposed to be there. So the bass line I can no longer hear, the chords that I know that are supposed to be there, the guitars that I know are somewhere there in the mix, all the things that I can't discern, my brain brain recalls it and pulls it up and kind of plays it along with the audio. Now, it's not that it hasn't been doing that this entire time, but there was no room for me to acknowledge it because I was so focused on how bad the audio sounded. But once I shifted my focus to the imagination, I noticed something. I started to enjoy music again. Now, just again, remember, I've had my implant for like a year now. It's not that the music sounds better. It's just that my brain has figured out a different way for me to experience it. You know, yesterday I was listening to Wasted Time by the Eagles. I'm showing my age a little bit, but man, and that's a song I know really well because I used to play it on the piano. And just, man, the chords in that song are just so harmonically, I mean, they just are so emotional and they really pull. And I was feeling it in the moment, and I couldn't hear any of those chords in that moment. I can't understand those anymore. But my brain was playing back along with it, and I could feel it. Man, I was enjoying listening to it. And so it makes me wonder. And so if you're like an audio science person out there, or you're doing research, this is something I really want to know. I wonder if our brains can really tell the difference between imagining, a chord progression and actually hearing it. Like, what does the brain look like? How different is it? I wonder. I don't know, if you have time to kill and you want to search on the internet for scientific papers, if there's something that's out there, let me know. If anything, this entire experience, including having this cochlear implant, has really made me just so amazed and fascinated by how our brains work. So I'm listening to music quite a bit more now when I'm out driving, definitely when I now find myself when I'm working, I've got music playing, and that was a thing that has kind of stopped for 2 years, and I've started to do that again. But again, even that has taken time. I mean, I would say when I recorded the last video, some of the comments that I got inspired me to start trying. And so that's how long I've kind of been working at this. And so it's taken me a while to kind of break that reflex of this sounds bad. It's taken me a while to break that and to override it with that first recall is, oh yeah, my brain is like, yes, I know what this sounds like. And I know maybe this sounds a little weird. Like, I'm telling you just to imagine it, be happy with it, and maybe if that makes you upset or frustrated, maybe you're not ready yet. All I can tell you is that I'm starting to enjoy music again, and nothing has changed from the tech side, the hardware side. I'm not doing any weird hacks to my implant, or, I haven't discovered some new setting. I've simply just found a new way to listen, and it's just my brain is having to select a different kind of input than the actual audio. All I know is this is helping me, and so I just want to pass it along. If it can help you. Again, if you're like me and you're a musician, this is a really big deal. I mean, it's a big deal for me. And so the fact that I'm starting to enjoy music again and listen more, it's like a big emotional sigh of relief. And if you're not ready yet, you're not ready yet. I get it. I haven't been ready. Again, it's taken me 2 years to get here. So tell me in the comments how your music journey is going. If you've got a cochlear implant or if you've got hearing damage, where are you in that emotionally? How are you coping? Are you even at a place where you could try this yet? And I understand I've been on the whole spectrum of all those feelings and emotions, so I get it. I just want to hear how you're doing because this is a really big deal. And so anything that we can do to help each other, share our stories, encourage each other through this, let's do it.